Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to have a look into FX Blue. We're going to have a look at some currency testing, and we're going to also show you exactly how you can actually split your accounts. What that means, well, basically we're going to try and take our PAMM accounts that we have in here. This is actually the third part that we are going into deeper and deeper every single time. We're gonna use FX Blue to run some tests and actually pull out some data. Now, if you don't want to have anything to do with PAMM accounts and you only want to do your own part, then definitely you should still stay on, because this particular one here is not just a video for PAMM accounts. This is a section that FX Blue has in there that will help you understand the currencies and the drawdowns that you actually have on your virtual accounts, so that you can better basically manage and control it. We are simply just doing this video so you can also understand the tools and equipment that is available to any trader. This is free of charge, but we are using our RSI PAMM account in this now part 3, where we have gone deeper and deeper every single time into exactly what it is we're doing, what tools we are using, and how you can also benefit from all this. Now, the previous videos that we made, this was the part 1 on the RSI PAMM account, basically explained to you what it was, where you can find all the details in here, so you could familiarize yourself with everything. And after that, we showed you this particular video here that was launched also about a week ago. And this one here shows you exactly what it is we are testing, how we are testing, and how we're actually determining also which signals should be used and which not. So obviously we are getting closer and closer to this, but there's a lot more to manage on PAMM accounts or even on normal accounts in here. And that's what this is all about today. Now, you can obviously find a lot more details on this, our RSI PAMM account. And you can also see the individual RSI Liberator, and you can see the Wave Liberator EAs that we have. They run on individual accounts. And one of the things that you will see when you actually click in here is that you'll notice that our entire setup here is on individual currency pairs. They are not pulled together. They are only done that later on in a portfolio where we combine them all. The reason for this is actually we want to streamline. We want to make sure that every single currency pair has the optimum settings that not only work for a week, but basically a good stable setting over time, over weeks and months, not years, definitely not. And we're doing that and then combining them into a portfolio. Now, we have shown that also on the website, and we also doing exactly the same thing on the PAMM accounts, where we are taking individual accounts, combining them in. But from there on, it actually gets a bit more difficult to figure out, okay, which ones are in drawdown, how much are they in drawdown? And that's where this particular tool here is going to help you today. So if you follow my channel in here, you will have seen many of these graphs here before. We actually show them on our weekly news reports, basically trying to show you the development on the weekly basis and on the monthly basis. And it'll give you all the weekly returns, the monthly returns through FX Blue. I will also explain to you that these are not really the right numbers, and you have to correlate for this and for that. So both actually for when you are inserting money and when you are again withdrawing money, all of this actually comes out, and then it looks like this. It looks like we took a loss, which is actually not really the case. And I've explained this many times. So FX Blue is not always the best instrument to work on. However, there is some things that is very good because you have nice graphical presentations. You can see the balance in here. So at the moment it's up to 91,000. So very healthy balance in here. You can see the equity is at 76, meaning we actually have a floating profit at loss at the moment. A lot of our EAs have that of minus 14,400. So this is not too much. This is quite normal for this particular EA in here. You can also see the close profit is 8,000. Free margins, everything else is quite nice. This is a real account with real money in it. And then you have the total returns, which at the moment is in minus because of the drawdown in here. You have the monthly returns that is calculated and the weekly returns here also with trade wins, pips, everything else, and a history of 85 days as it is right now. So all this is very nice. But what happens here when you have an account where you have individual currency pairs. They are now squeezed into one big portfolio. And then from there on, you can now see that you are having a profit and loss. Basically what we have in here, the floated profit and loss. You want to try and figure out exactly what is happening to your account, which currency pairs is actually running well, which one is not running so well. And also, of course, if this continues to grow, you can go in and hedge it. This is something we have done in the past, and we would do that definitely also on the PAMM accounts again, because this is other people's money. So we want to make damn sure that we have done everything possible to ensure that the capital stays there. Now, in order to do that, and you can do that on any other portfolio part, you can even do it on individual EA, such as the Trade Explorer that also runs multiple currency pairs. Don't forget, we have one that runs 22, we have one that runs 10, and obviously this becomes a bit difficult. Which one is the one that you actually have to keep the eye on the ball for? And there's a very simple solution for this. All you have to do is a simple click when you go to your FX Blue site. So the procedure I'm going to show you here today, we have to use a FX Blue site, of course. So in this particular case here, we have chosen the FX Blue portfolio for the RSI Liberator. So this is the run that is running on the PAMM account, where we have multiple currencies running. And you can obviously do that both if you have only one or two, or if you have multiple, doesn't really matter. It will basically help you understand exactly what is happening to your account, the drawdowns, and even further steps can also be made in there that I'm going to show you later in this particular video. So all we have to do here now is have a look at the overhead in here where it says overview, analysis, and stats. You move all the way over to the end. It says Excel here, and then all you have to do is click it. It'll download the Excel that we're going to use in here, and then let's go and have a closer look and see exactly what we can find. So on your screen now, you have exactly the Excel as I've just downloaded here, and we have to basically open it up a bit. So the easiest way is normally to do this, just to see what it is that we actually need to have a look at. Some of the things we don't really need for this particular test in here, but you can keep everything that you want if you think that is actually beneficial to you. But we cook it down in very small little sections. So the ticket part we don't really need. We're going to remove that. The symbols in here with the currency pairs, we need it. We don't need the buy and sells, and we don't need the open and close price here either. So we are not interested in those at the moment. And then we have open times, close times, open date, and close dates. Obviously, if you're looking for a specific trade, that will definitely help you out. But again, for this particular video here, we are not interested in those details either. So you can remove that. Then we get to the next part with the profit, the swap, and the commission in here. Now these three rows in here basically makes up the net profit we have over here. So if you put those numbers here together, you can see at the bottom of the screen, the count 3, 143.9, which is exactly what we have on the net profit up here. So that means, again, we can also exclude these particular ones in here. And then we have the net profits. That's what we need. Take profit and stop loss. We're not really interested in that. We're not interested in the pip here either. Results, loss. Well, at the moment, if it is in minus, it comes in at a loss. So let's remove those. We are not interested in the trade duration here either at the moment. So we'll move that one. The magic number, we'll keep it. And also we have no order confirmation in here. So this is actually all that we end up with here at the end of the day. And then what we can do is click on the data part up here and then add a filter in. So again, just have a look and then spread it out. So now you actually have in your open positions. So if you open that one here, you can see you have closed deposits, open positions, and where you want to do is you simply only want to have the open positions in here. You don't really need anything else at that particular point. And then from there on, you can now pick and choose which currency pairs that you want to have. What you do here is basically deselect all, and then you go and have a closer look and then figure out, okay, for our Aussie CAD, everything that is open right now is we have 2 open trades. And at the moment, this is at 1 lot size. So we're going to take that data in here, and then we add it also together with the net profit. You can now see also in the bottom part here that you have a sum which is minus 419. So again, that will tell you exactly the currency pairs, how many trades you have in, how much lots you have, and also at the end of the day, if it's in plus or minus. In this particular case, it's actually in minus. You can even double check the magic number just to make sure everything is there. So if we do that for another pair, so let's do a EuroCAD, for example, then we can see in here, there's a lot more of that. And again, all you have to do is sum it up in like this. You can see at the bottom of the screen, it tells you 8 counts. So that means that we have 8 trades in here, and the sum is 0.32 lots. So at the bottom, you basically use that for an Excel that I'm going to show you in a second. And then the net profit, again, we're also going to highlight that. And at the bottom of the screen, again, you can see minus 33.33. And in this particular case, it's in dollars. So now you already have a very good idea of this is. And if we just go for, let's go for another one, you can see not all the currency pairs is actually in here. And that means that if there's no open trades, we have sorted those out already. It will not pop up. New Zealand USD, let's do that one. That only has one. And then let's try the Swiss francs Japanese. I'm sure there's quite a few in here. And you can see again the lot sizing that we have. It shows, and you can count it down here. It says count 10 and then some 0.72 in here on the lot size. And then you sum up the net profit at the end of the day. And the sum is minus 879.52. And each data that you now collect, we have another Excel where we basically are transferring all the data that I just showed you here. I'm not going to go through every single currency pair. You will see it when everything is set up, of course. Now we try and run a tight ship in here. And again, it has something to do with my background as an aircraft engineer for many, many decades in here, where I always want to like to see the numbers. I like to break it down. I want to basically understand what is working and what's not working and how I can actually deal with this, and then use some automation in here also. This Excel is actually part of this. Now I'm going to go through every single part, so don't get too scared of all the numbers that are here. What we are looking at the moment is we have currency pairs on this particular side over here. You can see there's 22 different ones. These are also the ones that are showing up on our website. So those are the currency pairs that we have. And then on the other side over here, we have now put in the numbers that I showed you here before. Basically, you go through that Excel, and then in this particular case, we have no open trades for the Aussie Swiss francs. So we go to Aussie USD, and then what you do is you highlight, you have 3 open trades. The overall lot size that I mentioned here before is 0.22. And then you also add in your drawdown in dollars at the end of the day. And you continue to do that for every single one of them. Now, also here we have a drawdown percentage. So this is now a percentage calculation that we are using in here for the individual drawdowns. So that means that based on the minus in drawdowns, we can then see the percentage on the overall account. So which ones is pulling in the wrong direction. And at the bottom down here in yellow, we can see that the drawdown at the time that we pulled out this Excel was $14,528. We had 102 open trades, and the lots that we had out was 20.17, so quite a lot of lots in here. And then the drawdown on the account was at 15.96%. So that is the overall part that you could easily see from any FX Blue site. But we want to dissect it, and that's how we actually done it. So each individual currency pair has then been added into this particular one so that we know exactly what to look out for. The next part, so if we have one, we say, okay, depends on when you want to actually intervene, or if you think you should. You can obviously go in and highlight these ones. So there's one at 2,650, 2.91% is that in drawdown at the moment. we have the biggest one we have is New Zealand Japanese. So definitely that is an interesting one as always. And if we just highlight that for a sec, you will see that again, you have 19 open trades. The lots that we are used for this trade is 3.71. And that particular account has basically managed a drawdown on the overall account of 6.18% or $5,627. And then you can see the rest of them, they are actually quite small. There's even one in plus in here. So obviously that doesn't happen that often because very quickly they cash in and then the account is actually stopping again. It is more when it goes against the trend, then obviously they'll stay open for longer. And you can see many of them have extremely low drawdowns. Most of the accounts that we are running, and I'll explain that to you in a second here, is $5,000 accounts. So they're a lot bigger than what you see on the website itself. Now, the reason why you also have his hedged lot over here, so this is a particular section that we use just to, if we need to intervene or if there's something that is running out of basically whack, there is an opportunity in here for us to figure out how we can hedge this particular signal. And again, normally what we do is if it continues to run in the wrong direction, then if it's all doing sales and it's going the other way, then you can put in the hedge at a certain percentage. And we are normally using somewhere between 30 to 50% in here. And this particular one will tell me very quickly that if I want to hedge that particular signal with that drawdown at the moment with 30%, then I have to use a 1.11 as a hedging on the lot size. If I want to do a 35%, it will tell me exactly it's 1.3 in here. So it gives me a good idea of how I can actually limit some of the drawdowns in case there's a runaway train here or runaway account at the end of the day. So I don't have to sit and calculate all these things. It comes up automatically at the end of the day. So all this is a very good idea to have, so you're always ready for the trading week in case something should go wrong. There should be news that goes against your individual EAs and your setup. The second part here is also what we have built. So because we have built our trading in blocks, again, these are individual currency pairs as you saw earlier on. And in the beginning we had on one of the accounts, on the Wave Liberator account, they was expanding extremely quickly. So what we decided to do was build it in blocks. So it was easy also to basically adjust the risk factors in here. So again, you can see that started off, and just ignore the $1,000 accounts in here. But you could basically build them up. So they, instead of $1,000, it could be 2, 5, or 10,000 in here. And that way we can mix and match the risk factor, that even though we don't have to have exactly the same risk factor in here. For example, if we wanted to do the British pounds Japanese, we could set it down. You can see the, for example, the New Zealand Japanese is only running on a $1,000 account, and still it has actually gone away quite badly. So you could imagine if we would have set that at the same level, then it would be a lot higher risk on the particular account. So that's how we can actually mix and match which ones we want to basically go full blown. So that means that all these accounts together is 3,000 for the $1,000 accounts. We have just stopped all the $2,000 accounts in here, upgraded most of them to 5,000. And that means now that we basically are running these currency pairs, and we have now set it up based on our $1,000 accounts. So this one is actually trading $88,000. So now we're obviously also going to have a closer look at what our RSI is actually producing. So what are the account balance? And for that, we simply just scroll down here to get those particular numbers. And this is the numbers that are actually pulled also from the Excel. We can see that the PAMM account and the amount in here, at the moment, the RSI PAMM account is running at about 91,000. And that is basically the target value. You could see that we are trading up on our settings of 88,000. So that means we are a bit below our normal target, but it's also a special period right now for the Forex market. We can make some changes in here, so we can say that the market looks good. We can now upgrade basically the risk factor, so we put a 10% in. So that now means that we can go actually and look at the target value. So instead of the 88,000 that you just saw up here that we are trading at the moment, we can say, okay, we're going to bring 2 more accounts in for another 2 times 5,000 that we want to trade. And all of a sudden, that is now the risk factor that we have instead. And obviously, you can either lower or raise this at any given time. This just gives us another set of data to make sure that we know the target value. And if there's all of a sudden a risk again here for some of these accounts, the bigger drawdown that goes in, the individual accounts can actually be shut down or can actually be lowered also. So that is another way of making sure that the accounts are not running away, so that we continue to have a target value of what we want to trade. We know roughly what we're going to get out of this particular EA. And then we also have an expected profit per day, because again, we can calculate out of that particular amount that we have within the account, what we should see on a daily basis. So expect profit per day. So again, with a 5%, we expect that the RSI PAMM account should produce somewhere around $216. 10%, we should have somewhere around $433. And then at 15%, we should make 650 at the moment. Definitely, we are not there at the moment, the way the market is actually operating. But this is another way of seeing if we're actually tracking and basically keeping an eye on all the data within our account. So there you have it. Even though that sometimes you don't really like FX Blue too much because it's not really providing us the right data, this particular Excel and the way this actually operates give us an instant access to all our data. So if you are looking at your MT5 profile in here, you can obviously see all the open trades, but they are very, very difficult also here to put together. Same if you're just looking on the website itself. Yes, you can actually combine them in here, but at the end of the day, trying to calculate the drawdowns, trying to understand the risk of your entire account, which currency pairs is actually going into minus, which ones are the ones that are not really trading, and which ones are the ones in positive numbers. This is extremely important for us when we run our accounts, and you can do that several times a day if that's actually needed. We don't do that, but we definitely do that over the weekends, trying to get all the data together to give us the best results, so we are ready for the next week of trading. And if things are developing in a negative direction, we can always put this together again. As you can see, this only takes about 5-10 minutes to put all your data in here, so you know exactly how much lot that you have at risk at the moment, what are the drawdowns on which particular currency pairs, should you hedge anything in here, and if so, by how much. So all of this we need to know at short time notice, and that's exactly why this is a very valuable tool for us and anybody else who's actually also into multiple different currency pairs when you only have one account, because things are becoming a bit difficult. But don't forget, this is not trading advice, this is not investment advice. We are only showing you exactly all the data and how we are actually producing this data and what we are trying to develop over time here with both PAMM accounts and all our other multi-currency pairs in here. Make sure that you never trade with money you cannot afford to lose in here. But I still hope that this has given you a good feedback and information as to how you can actually use FX Blue, which is completely for free, as you have seen in here, to try and improve your trading strategies and try to understand your accounts a lot better than just simply looking at the MT4 platform. So with this, I hope I've given you the insights, and hopefully you also took time to have a look into our laboratory. And if you have any comments or anything else like that, then please put them in the video description below. I will also make sure that the videos that I've already made, so the part 1 and 2 for these particular RSI PAMM accounts, will be in the video description below. So until my next video, I hope to see you around. Bye bye.